Despite the name COVID-19 for the year of its identification, the year 2020 will probably go down in history as the year of the coronavirus and all of its accompanying destruction and devastation to health, the healthcare industry, and to social isolation and an economic meltdown, the likes of which we haven't seen since the Great Depression. And add to that the continued and growing and necessary struggle for racial, sexual, and gender equality, and the cherry on top possibly being the looming problem of a mental health crisis and a homelessness crisis, and you've got the recipe for one fucking hell of a year. And it's easy to get down, to feel despondent, and to feel hopeless. And to be honest, sometimes I do. But 2020 also happens to be the 50th anniversary of a really great song. And so I first want to frame this by taking you back to 1970. That was 50 years ago. In 1970, a gallon of gasoline cost a whopping 36 cents. A decent apartment anywhere in the country could probably be found for $140 a month, and you could buy a brand new home for $24,000 or less. So it was certainly different times then, but a lot is still the same. We're still engaged in conflicts all over the world we don't quite understand. Just like in 1970, we were chest deep in the Vietnam War, and while we were fighting the North Vietnamese abroad, we were fighting ourselves at home. 1970 was the year that Nixon illegally invaded Cambodia, which led to a tremendous amount of riots and protests. That also led to the Kent State and Jackson State massacres. But, you only have to go back a scant 7 years from that to have witnessed the assassination of JFK in 63, Malcolm X in 65, and Martin Luther King Jr. in 68. So all of these ideas were really fresh in our hearts and our minds in 1970. But something really cool happened in 1972. That's when a guy named Stan Vincent wrote a song that was recorded by, that at the time was called the First Family of Soul in the U.S., a title later seconded by the Jackson 5. But originally, that title belonged to the Five Stairsteps, and that name was given to the band by the father of 5 siblings whose ages, when they stacked them up and stood next to each other, the tops of their heads kind of formed stair steps. So they were the 5 Stairsteps, and they recorded a beautiful song. It's been one of my favorite songs my entire life, and I'll bet you know it. It's called Ooh Child. And even though I may tell you the name of the band and the title of the song, you're like, what? Do I know that one? Yeah, you do. But you might know it by a recording, a cover recording, because so many people have recorded and re-recorded this song in the last 50 years. It kind of staggers the mind. Ooh Child was number 402 on the Rolling Stones list of the 500 greatest songs ever written. Ooh Child goes, ooh child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh child, things will be brighter. Now, I have a horrible voice and I'm butchering this, so go and listen to yourself and do yourself a favor. Listen to the original. The original is always the best. 1970 by the Five Stairsteps. In fact, I'm going to provide a link down below to a performance they did in 1970 on Soul Train. It's fucking awesome. And when you hear that, you're going to feel like someone just wrapping their arms around your heart to give you a hug of consolation and comfort. That's the way it's always sort of hit my ears and hit my heart. I have a feeling it'll do the same for you. And the reason is the truth is always simple. And the truth is, things will get better. And things will get brighter. And then we're going to put together or take apart the things that are necessary for us to be happier and healthier as individuals and as a nation. So I hope you find some inspiration in that, and I hope that that inspiration leads you to the idea that you want to be, and I want this too. We should all strive to be the reason why somebody has a reason to sing that. So be the reason why somebody thinks to themselves, things are going to get better. Be the reason that somebody thinks things are going to get easier. And that we're going to get it together. And the things that need to be taken apart will be taken apart. And that the world will be brighter. It's a beautiful message, but messages are meant to be acted upon. That is the idea of yoga. Yoga is an action. Yoga is a doing. And if we're just sitting around waiting to be consoled, waiting to be saved, we're really missing an opportunity, because it is not just a beautiful idea. It is a scientific fact that we feel better when we help others. So be that reason that things get brighter. I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Namaste.